What do you want to do before you die? It's a big question, isn't it? A question that we don't often want to ask ourselves or ask of other people. But some people have attempted to answer it. They've written up lists of all the things that they want to do before they die. For some, you'll find on their lists skydiving, climbing Mount Everest, getting a high-paying job that allows you to drive a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. For other people, they just want to start a family. For many different people, there's various responses to that question of what they want to do before they die. But I want to tweak the question slightly and ask you this: what must you do before you die? I was given this book a few years ago at Christmas, 101 Movies You Must See Before You Die. And in it, these authors are saying that if you're a film fan, these are the essential films you must see before you die. But what do you think God says you must do before you die? Well, God says that there is one thing that you must do before you die, and that is be saved. You might be sat there thinking, well, I don't need saving from anything. I'm not a murderer. I'm not a drug dealer. I'm not a terrible person. I haven't hurt an old lady. But we all need saving, the Bible teaches, because we've all sinned and fallen short of God's holy standards for living. And why is that? Well, each and every one of us have thought things we shouldn't think, say things we shouldn't say, and do things we shouldn't do. We've broken God's holy laws for living and ignored his standards. We haven't lived up to them. And so because of that, we've separated ourselves from a God who created us, who loves us, who wants us to be in friendship with him. We've separated ourselves from him. And not only will we separate ourselves from him in the present, but we will separate ourselves from him in eternity because of our sin. And this is because there is a payment for our sin. The payment for our sin is death, the Bible teaches. And that means eternal death, separation from God after we die. It means that we won't go to heaven with him. It means that we will be apart from him in hell. And that's a sad reality for many. But the amazing truth is that God has sent his one and only Son, Jesus, to die for you and for me, so that we didn't have to be separated from him now and in eternity. Jesus has made a way. And he did that by going to the cross for you and for me, by paying the price, by laying down his life for you and for me, by taking our place, by taking upon himself the sin, the bad things that you and I have ever done, and destroying their power forever when he died and rose again 3 days later. The grave couldn't hold him down. But we couldn't rise again because we are but mortals. And we will go to death because of our sin. But Jesus has made a way. He's dealt with the problem of sin. All we need to do now is turn to him, say that we're sorry for the mistakes that we've made, and ask him to change us from the inside out, to go to work on our hearts. And he will make us acceptable in his sight. We have to be saved. Without asking Jesus to save us, we will do all of the things that we maybe want to do in this life to feel fulfilled, to feel that we're experiencing an abundant life. But the truth of the matter is that all of the things on those people's lists have no bearing on eternity. They may think that these are the things we must do before we die. But there is only one thing that we must do in the Bible's view in order to be saved, and that is turn to God. So I want to ask you today, will you choose to turn to Jesus? Will you choose to accept him into your life and be saved?